Hello, I'm Thal Smith. Here's a way to start reading some short stories, some novellas, and some poetry, if you haven't actually tried to read any. Starting off, I would suggest reading some novels that are like collections of short stories or poetry. For example, The Martian Chronicles. It is a novel. Actually, it's just a collection of short stories that basically form the novel by Ray Bradbury. It's a science fiction novel, but it's awesome, and it's a great way to start, getting in some short stories in a somewhat novel form to start getting into it. Other suggestions I would use for this category would be like I, Robot, the original I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. Again, has that sort of collection of short stories that form a novel, as well as Mary Poppins. Yes, the novel Mary Poppins. There was a novel by P.O. Travers. Novels, actually, long before the movie. Anyways, yeah, even in those, the stories of Mary Poppins, the novel, each one is a separate story in each chapter. And again, it helps to sort of get you into reading short story collections, short stories and whatnot. For poetry, I'd obviously start off with some things, like Alice in Wonderland. That's a very good way to just start getting in some poetry. Very well known poetry, but really great poetry. Anyways, also I would advise, obviously, the J.R. Tolkien's poetry and his Middle-earth awesomeness. Why haven't they made like a whole novel of just Tolkien's poetry, like a collection of all the poetry he had? Poetry. Poetry and all the stories he's written within it. Good question. Anyways, so also Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, it's a classic Gothic, but that's the great thing about it. It has that Gothic horrorness, and it'd be a good way to, open it up to it. Also, try reading some narrative poems like Crank or a review I just did a few weeks ago. There's some fun examples there. Also, for novellas, one place you can start on that would be like getting into some Stephen King novellas, like Different Seasons. That's it. Try reading Different Seasons. That's a good example of at least getting into some novellas. And also what you should do is find collections of short stories, poems, novellas of genres you like. There's a whole collection of collaborations on horror short stories, sci-fi short stories, fantasy short stories. You get the gist of it. And there's something there that could in fact interest you and really entertain and surprise you if you just, give it a shot. And yeah. So there you go.